is Mike Ayers, but tonight is the driver R.W. Armstrong in that 8 ride right there in turn 3. Joining this field in the car 37, it's William Wilmer out of Fairfield, Virginia. The 22 of Samuel Hamilton there from Fairfield. On the track, the 4 of Bryce Smith out of Covington, Virginia. Then in the 10H out of Lexington, Virginia, there is Stephen Harrison. You got the 99 of Matt Duggan, second in the points for the Elite Racing Series right there rolling down the backstretch. He is out here for hot laps too. Got the 37 of William Wimmer up here in turn 4, stopped at the moment. Track officials will take a look at him, see if we can get him rolling so we can get hot laps on the way. Street stock, you will follow 602 hot laps. Street stock, you are up next for hot lap qualifying. So the Elite Racing Series points, Wyatt Coffey's first, second's Matt Duggan. Third in points is Bryce Smith. Fourth, Trey Stamper. Fifth, Daniel Durham. Sixth, Devin Beher. Seventh, John Jennings. Eighth, Ryan LaRue. Ninth, Dylan Hallnaker. And then 10th in points with the Elite Racing Series is Stephen Harrison. Top 10 pay points money for the 602 Elite Racing Series. So current right now, Wyatt Coffey is the points leader for the 602 Late Model Elite Racing Series. Once again, the Elite Racing Series is sponsored by VP Racing Fuels, XS Power Batteries, Knowles Race Parts and Bodies, Warriors Race Cars, CNT Holland, Roger Dabbs Chevrolet Performance, PPM Racing Products, Virginia Driveline and Differential, and Burley Performance and Parts is the series sponsors for the Elite Racing. And here we go, back green for hot laps for the 602s here. Checkered flag is out. So hot laps right now, Wyatt Coffey, the current point leader, 17,099, but Matt Duggins, second in points with the Elite Racing Series, is second currently in hot laps. Timed in at a 17.216. R.W. Armstrong was a 17.418. Samuel Hamilton fifth in hot laps with a 17.522. Now on the track in car 20, last week's winner here at Natural Bridge Speedway, it's Ryan LaRue. Then in the 36, he is out of Buckhannon. It's Darren Critchfield. Then from Mount Airy, North Carolina, in the 00 there, rolling out of turn 2, it's Kendall Tucker. Then out of Waynesboro in the 3, it's Jacob Level. Then all the way from Elkins, North Carolina, in that 15, it's Daniel Durham. Rolling out on the track there behind him out of Clifton Forge. In the 59D, it's Josh DePriest. On the track 2 in turn 1 here in car 56 out of Fairfield, Virginia, that is Billy Weeks. Reminder, this is just hot laps right here. Green is coming out here for hot laps for the Elite Racing Series here. Third session of hot laps here. Checkered flag is out for this group. So Wyatt Coffey overall right now 17.099 in hot laps, but the 00 of Kendall Tucker out of Mount Airy for hot laps at a 17.172. The 15 of Daniel Durham out of Elkins, North Carolina, fourth overall with a 17.262. So that was for the Elite Racing Series 602 hot laps. They will come back up here shortly for qualifying after the rookies. Ray Fiend Medical Associates Street Stock for hot lap qualifying, please. Ray Fiend Medical Associates Street Stock for hot lap qualifying. We have completed hot laps for the 602 late models, so we will move to Ray Fiend Medical Associates Street Stock. After the Street Stock hot lap qualifying, I need rookies. Rookies, you will follow Street Stock. Then the 602s will be back up for qualifying after rookies. So, Elite Racing Series 602 late models, make your adjustments, and you'll be back up here shortly for qualifying. Street Stocks here tonight. We have 9 entries for our Ray Fiend Medical Associates Street Stocks. So we'll have 3 groups for qualifying. But there is some that did not register, so we got at least a couple more that have entered here late. Looking at the points for the Ray Fiend Medical Associates Street Stock, Ben Hamilton in the 22 there, current point leader. Second is Dylan Thompson. Third is Howard Hall. Howard Hall still searching for his first win this season. Keith Herron's fourth. And then fifth is Chris Cordell, the 282. Points are winding down here at Natural Bridge Speedway. Reminder, we are off here next week at Natural Bridge Speedway for the Rockbridge Regional Fair. So some of them just have about 2 points races left. So point racing is tightening in some divisions here. Rookies, you are up next. Rookies, you are up next. You will follow Street Stock Hot Lap qualifying. Once again, after rookies, it'll be the 602 Elite Racing Series for qualifying after the rookies. Top four, ladies and gentlemen, will come to the front stretch for the redraw. Top four from here will come to the front stretch for the street stocks for redraw. Coming out on the track out of Lynchburg, Virginia in the 282, it's Chris Cordell. In car 41 is Les Hallnaker. And then in car 5 out of Buena Vista, Virginia, it's Lee Herring. Green is out for hot lap qualifying. They will get 3 laps here. First time in for Chris Cordell, 18.547. First lap for the 41 of Les Hallnaker. Third overall with a 22.09. In the 5 of Lee Herron's first lap, 18.736. Second lap for Chris Cordell faster, 18.322. Still current fast time. So checkered flag falling on the first group of Rafine Medical Associates street stocks for qualifying. Current fast time at the moment, Lynchburg, Virginia's Chris Cordell there in the 282 with an 18.322. Second is the 5 of Lee Herron out of Buena Vista, Virginia with an 18.736. And currently third, the 41 of Les Hallnaker at a 19.836. We'll have a couple more join us here shortly. Next out has a win here in the street stocks this season in car 50 out of Buena Vista, Virginia. It's Keith Herron, last year's points champion. Car 23, it is Howard Hall out of Concord, Virginia, and then veteran driver in the 97 there in turn 2 out of Madison Heights, Virginia. It's Earl Brooks Jr. Green is out here for Rafine Medical Associates street stock hot lap qualifying. Rookies, you are next. Rookies, you are next for qualifying. Caution there in turn 2 for Buena Vista, Virginia's Keith Herron. Looped her there in turn 2 for qualifying here. Line them back up here. First lap for Keith Herron, 19.020, third overall. First lap coming for Concord, Virginia's Howard Hall, times in second overall at 18.609. Make that third overall. Second overall is Earl Brooks Jr. with the 18.575. Chris Cordell still fastest with 18.322. Second lap faster for the 23 of Howard Hall, 18.476. Second currently on the board. Earl Brooks drops back to third overall on the board with an 18.575. Checkered flag coming out for this group. Still fast time, Chris Cordell with an 18.322. Howard Hall second overall with an 18.476. Earl Brooks Jr. is third overall with an 18.575. In the 50 of Keith Herron is fifth overall with 18.915. Rookie drivers, I need you at the cone. If you're in the infield stage, in the infield. Rookies, you are next for hot lap qualifying. Next coming out, current point leader in the Rafine Medical Associates Street Stock. It's the 22 of Ben Hamilton out of Fairfield. In car 55, it's Kyle Bray out of Amherst, Virginia. And then in the 81 veteran driver out of Lexington, Virginia, it's Neil Murray. Green flag is out here for the qualifying. Ben Hamilton times in second overall with 18.397. Neil Murray sixth overall with 18.758. Caution on the track for the 55 of Kyle Bray. Caution for the 55 of Amherst, Virginia drivers, Kyle Bray, which is eighth overall with a 19.441. Green is back out here for street stock hot lap qualifying. Drivers searching to beat Chris Cordell's 18.322. Neil Murray, third overall, 18.472. Caution there for the 22 there. There in turn two, caution for Ben Hamilton. Checkered flag is out. Chris Cordell is still your fastest at an 18.322. Ben Hamilton second at an 18.323. Neil Murray third overall with an 18.419. In the 55 of Kyle Bray is eighth overall with a 19.109. Next out in 25, it's Dylan Thompson out of Concord, Virginia. And then in 34, Michael Simmons out of Millboro, Virginia. Green is out for hot lap qualifying. Rookies, you are up next for qualifying. Rookies, you are up next for qualifying. First lap for Dylan Thompson. 6th overall at 18.701. The 34C of Michael Simmons, 7th overall with an 18.719. Michael Simmons, 5th overall with an 18.522. Checkered is out. New fast time, the 25 of Dylan Thompson at an 18.285. Chris Cordell, 2nd overall, 18.322. Ben Hamilton, 18.323. And Neil Burry will be the top 4 to the front stretch with an 18.419. So, final lap done it for Dylan Thompson. Put it on to the top of the board with an 18.285. Will be your double nickel quick time in the street stock. Rookies, you are up next for hot lap qualifying. The Elite Racing Series 602 late models, you follow rookies. You follow rookies. All right, all 4 drivers here will pick out a chip. Dylan Thompson, fast time, will pick the first one. One for the 25 of Dylan Thompson. Chris Cordell reaching in to pick out a chip. 3 for Chris Cordell. Ben Hamilton. 4 for Ben Hamilton. 2. Neil Murray will be 2. Rookies up now for qualifying. Elite Racing Series 602 late model, you follow rookies. Now coming on the track is our rookies. In the 111, Madison Heights, Virginia's Owen Drury. In car 18, behind him is Caden Cunningham out of Forest, Virginia. Then his first race this season, it's Caleb Glassford out of Glasgow, Virginia. Green is out here for qualifying 3 laps for these gentlemen here. Elite Racing Series 602 late models, start making your way to staging, please. Elite Racing Series 602 late models, start making your way to staging. First lap here for Owen Drury. Caden Cunningham in a 20.098. Owen Drury second with a 2200. Caleb Glassford 21.279. Third overall. Caution there for the 18 of Caden Cunningham in turn 2. So they all have 2 laps completed. Caden Cunningham there. 20.098 your fast time currently. They get 1 more lap here around Natural Bridge Speedway for hot lap qualifying. Checkered flag coming out here for the rookies. Caden Cunningham is your fast time for the double nickel quick time in your rookies with a 20.023. Owen Drury second overall with a 2200. And third is Caleb Glassford at a 20.822. So your fast time for our rookies was Caden Cunningham. Now we have the Elite Racing Series fueled by VP Racing qualifying. There you'll see them, ladies and gentlemen, staging down here. There's 23 entries, the biggest car turnout for the Elite Racing Series this season. Their third race. First race was May 17th up at Beckley, 12 cars. The winner was Waynesboro, Virginia's Wyatt Coffey. Then on July 5th, they made their way down here to Natural Bridge Speedway, and Wyatt Coffey also won that one. So, and this is their third race. They had a rain out at Beckley back in August. So, like to give the Elite Racing Series sponsors a shout out for the Old Dominion Classic here tonight at Natural Bridge Speedway. VP Racing Fuels, XS Power Batteries, Knowles Race Parts and Bodies, Royal Race Cars, CNT Hauling, Roger Dabbs Chevrolet Performance, PPM Racing Products, Virginia Driveline and Differential, Burley Performance and Parts. So right now they're getting ready for qualifying. So we're looking for the fastest qualifier, which is brought to you by Knowles Race Parts and Bodies. So hello to everyone watching online on Dirt Rich TV tonight. So we are live shortly here with Dirt Rich TV. So everyone here in attendance too. Anybody that you got at home, make sure they tune in online on Dirt Rich TV. Currently, their point leader is Wyatt Coffey. Second is Matt Duggins. Third is Bryce Smith. Fourth is Trey Stamper, which Trey Stamper out of Toast, North Carolina, is not in the pits tonight. Fifth is Daniel Durham. Sixth is Devin Beher. Seventh is John Jennings. Eighth in points is Ryan LaRue. Ninth is Dylan Honaker. And 10th is Stephen Harrison for the Elite Racing Series. Next, first out here in car 5 out of Covington, Virginia, it is Dylan Honaker. Then out in the 36 by WJA Fowler Excavating, Lester Well Drilling, Painters Machine Shop, Beckenridge Farms out of Buckhannon, it's Darren Kreitzfield. Then in the car 21, that doesn't have a number, with the Beher Stump Grinding, Walker's Creek Cabinets LLC. Out of Natural Bridge Station, it's Devin Beher. Green is out here for qualifying. MRP is up, so if you want to follow live here, you can see live timing on MRP. First lap for Dylan Honaker, 17.576. First lap for Darren Kreitzfield. First overall currently with a 17.378. Devin Beher third overall with a 18.156 for his first lap. Fast time, Natural Bridge Stations. Devin Beher with a 17.372. So current fast time, Natural Bridge Stations, Devin Beher with a 17.372. 3 competitors down, 20 to go for qualifying. They get 2 laps. Next coming out, he is the current point leader for the Elite Racing Series. Bradley Trucking, Todd Rental, Arbor Life, Tree Care, Jeff Smith Racing, Wesley Page Shocks, Longhorn, Wyatt Coffey. Last week's winner here at Natural Bridge Speedway in car 20 in the Ryan Flynn Arbor Street SNL Racing, Lux Hair Company, H&H Livestock. It's Ryan LaRue out of Lexington, Virginia. And then it's the 5 of Blake Brown, Worley's Upholstery, family of Blake Brown Racing out of Greenville, Virginia. First lap coming in for Wyatt Coffey, current fast time with a 16.897. First lap for Ryan LaRue's. Fourth overall with a 17.409. Up there in the guardrail for Ryan LaRue. First lap for Blake Brown. Sixth overall with a 21.594. Not fast. Second lap wasn't fastest there, but fastest overall there. Wyatt Coffey with a 16.897. Next, coming out for qualifying in the Masterbuilt in the Hamilton race and Driven Motors Kiwi Carriers Inc. Jennings Popular Solution LLC. It's Samuel Hamilton out of Fairfield, Virginia. Then in the 4 Masterbuilt, Wolf Motorsports, Hawk Rest Farm, CNC Lawn and Land LLC. It's Bryce Smith. Then in car 26, the Gibson Clean Cut Lawn Care Salon 121 out of Storrs Draft, Virginia. It's Chris Fretwell. These drivers, Hunton's Wyatt Coffey trying to beat the 16.897. First lap coming in here for Samuel Hamilton. 5th overall with a 17.423. First lap for Bryce Smith, times in. 2nd overall with a 17.359. Chris Fretwell, 8th overall with a 17.814. Samuel Hamilton picked it up the 2nd overall, 17.345. Make it Bryce Smith back to 17.273. Still current fast time White Coffee at a 16.897. Bryce Smith 2nd overall with a 17.273. And Samuel Hamilton is 3rd overall with a 17.345. And Chris Fretwell 8th overall with a 17.621. Next, coming up out of Buckhannon, Virginia, in the Reeds Towing, Red Hill Photography, RDM Motorsports, it's Jesse Murray. Then in car 3, in the Barry Wright race car, Martin Small, Engine Repair, BM Performance, Ace Machinery, it's Jacob Level out of Waynesboro. Then in the Paisley Logistics LLC, Durham Engine Services, Barry Wright out of Elkton, North Carolina, in car 15, it's Daniel Durham. First lap for Jesse Murray, 9th overall, 18.287. Jacob Level, 9th overall, 10th overall with a 17.673. Daniel Durham, 7th overall with a 17.551. Jacob Level, 3rd overall with a 17.322. Daniel Durham, 6th overall with a 17.377. And Jesse Murray, 11th overall with a 17.843. Next, coming out in the Longhorn, Mike Ayers Trucking, Gans Race Car Parts, Trumptown, USA. It's normally driven by Michael Ayers. Tonight it's driven by R.W. Armstrong. Then coming out in the double nickel race cars, Blue Paw Dog Training, BHR Fabrication, Dobson Trucking Inc. It's Kendall Tucker. And then in car 11 in the Higgins Trucking, Freedom Church, Crown Hardwoods, Brett Bowers Logging, Tim Stallnaker. Green here for qualifying in the Elite Racing Series. First lap timing in for R.W. Armstrong. 3rd overall with a 17.315. First lap for Kendall Tucker, 17.106. 2nd overall. Tim Stallnaker, 13th overall with a 17.832. So still current fast time right now is Waynesboro, Virginia's White Coffee to 16.897. Mount Airy's Kendall Tucker, 2nd overall with a 17.106. R.W. Armstrong, 4th overall with a 17.289. And Tim Stallnaker, 12th overall with a 17.620. Next coming out in car 65, Beckenrich Farms, Dottie's Country Store, Wooley's Home Improvement, Lester Well Drilling. It's John Jennings. Behind John Jennings out of Fairfield, Virginia, sponsored by Fairfield Tire, Redfield Farm, Fairfield Farms Market. It's William Wilmer. Then in car 99 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the TC Construction, Platinum Power Wash LLC, Dan River Family Restaurant LLC, Gans Race Parts, MDM Motorsports, it's Matthew Duggins. First lap coming in here for Fairfield, Virginia's John Jennings. Times in 14th overall, a 17.789. William Wilmer, 16th overall with a 17.936. And here comes Matthew Duggins. First time lap for Matthew Duggins. 11th overall with a 17.539. So Matt Duggins, 11th overall, a 17.412. William Wilmer, 13th overall with a 17.615. John Jennings, 16th. 16th overall with a 17.789. Next coming out in the Kryptonite out of Waynesboro, Virginia, it's Dakota Fox. Following him from Stanton, Virginia, in the Huggle Septic Service, Smoky Row Excavating, Woodmaster, Augusta Outdoor Stove, it's Justin Webb. Then in the 10H, Rocket XR1, Nathan Deacon Truckin', Rising Sun Farm, Rockbridge Rental Company, Dottie's Country Store, it's Stephen Harrison. First lap for Dakota Fox, 18th overall with a 18.023. Justin Webb, 19th overall, 18.404. First lap for Stephen Harrison, 12th overall with a 17.437. Stephen Harrison picked it up there. Stephen Harrison picked it up there to 17.311. 5th overall for the 10H there. 11F of Dakota Fox, 19th overall with 18.023. Justin Webb is 20th overall with a 18.404. Still, we got two drivers left. Hunting, White Coffee, 16.897. Next coming out in the car 56, but hers pre-owned, Booper Bear Racing. It's Billy Weeks. And then in the 59D, out of Clifton Forge, Virginia, it's Josh DePriest. Last two for qualifying for the Elite Racing Series 602. '59D is slow here on the front stretch. First lap for Billy Weeks, 20th overall to 18.101. Billstein Shock late model. Start making your way to staging. Billstein Shock's late model. Start making your way to staging for qualifying. 59D of Josh DePriest did not get a lap. 56 will get one more here. Picked it up a little bit. 20th overall for Billy Weeks with the 18.052. There is with a scorn, the 22 of Samuel. Never mind there. All right, your complete 602 Fast time for the 602 Elite Racing Series is Wyatt Coffey with a 16.897. Second was the 00 Kendall Tucker with a 17.106. Third was Bryce Smith with a 17.273. Fourth was the 8 of R.W. Armstrong with a 17.289. Fifth is the 10H of Stephen Harrison with a 17.311. That's your top 5 for your Elite Racing Series 602. Billstein Shock late model, you are up next for hot lap qualifying. Billstein Shock late model, you are up next for qualifying. The top 4 for the Billstein Shock late model qualifying will be down on the front stretch after qualifying for the top 4 for an invert. Wow, we got a break into action before Billstein Shock's late model. Make sure you stop by the Natural Bridge Snack Shack on the front side or back side. Grab your a combo, chicken tenders, cheeseburger, hamburger, bologna burger, hot dog, french fries, cheese fries, chili cheese nachos, Pepsi products here at Natural Bridge Speedway. Let's thank some sponsors and partners here at Natural Bridge Speedway. Cecil B. Arthur, Thomas Clark Performance, Double Nickel Race Cars, BHR 55 Fabrication, MPM Precision Marketing, Bank of Botetourt, Austin Electric Construction, CNS Disposal, Coffee Excavating and Septic, WR Deacon and Sons Timber, Tri-State Vintage Dirt Series, Fairfield Tire Dave Reynolds, Jennings Property Solution LLC, Bradley's Trucking, All About Wraps Jason Parker, Checker Flight Graphics LLC, Cashier's Parts and Repair, SRI, LaJoy, Pepsi, State Farm Insurance, Brent Hershey Agent, Botetourt and Roanoke, Rafine Medical Associates, Dr. Rob Marsh, Sunrise Barbecue, Payne Enterprises, Inc., New Point Lighting and Design, Inc., K1 Race Gear, Ajoka out of Stanton, Miller Pipeline and Delta Star. Both businesses are hiring. Mention you heard it from Natural Bridge Speedway. Lexington Moose Lodge 1700. Miller Auto Body, Amherst, Virginia. KC Collection out of Buchanan. Ryan Flynn Artistry. Behers Pre-Owned out of Lexington. Amherst Concrete Services. Delicate Terry Austin. City View and Performance Fabrication, Bobby Thompson. VP Racing. Terrace Law out of Lexington and Salem, Virginia. Thank you to all our sponsors and partners here at Natural Bridge Speedway. And also thank you to drivers and the fans and everyone who supports us here at Natural Bridge Speedway. Just a reminder, we are closed here next week at Natural Bridge Speedway. Closed next week for the fair, for the Rockbridge Regional Fair here in the county. We will return to racing September 20th with the late model 604 Pure Stock, Stock 4 rookies and their Little Rascals, fans' favorite. Then our final points racing here for Natural Bridge Speedway, September 27th. We will crown champions for the 2025 season here. Make sure you stay tuned to all our social media here with Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. All your information coming up for the big races coming up in October. October 10th and 11th, 8,800 to win, 800 to start. Tommy Bear Memorial. Friday's limited late model qualifying and heats, 602 late model qualifying and heats in the vintage feature. Saturday we'll have the limited late model B mains. Virginia Sprint Series will be back. Pure Stock 602 late model and the 8,800 to win, 800 to start. Tommy Bear Memorial. All your information can be found online. Also, make sure you mark your calendars October 17th and 18th here at Natural Bridge Speedway, our annual Fall Classic. If you would like to be a sponsor for our Fall Classic, please contact Trevor Cash. And then we'll wrap up our final race for the season. November 15th, the American All-Stars Crate Paramount 10K to win with Street Stock and Pure Stocks. So you'll start seeing more information come out for all our big shows in the American All-Star Crate Paramount here at Natural Bridge Speedway later on coming up. Make sure www.naturalbridgespeedway.com for all your information. We have 15 entries in for the Billstein Shocks late model here tonight at Natural Bridge Speedway. Like I mentioned, the top 4 will come down here on the front stretch, ladies and gentlemen, for a peel chip redraw. Next, coming out first in the BMF, LWR Builders, Race City Performance, WR Deacon and Sons Timber, Spencer Home Center, Beverly Brothers Sons Woodyard, former track champion, former promoter here at Natural Bridge Speedway. It's Larry Ramsey. Then in the 8, out of Waynesboro in the Auto Parts, Cash's Parts Repair, Blue Ridge Peterbilt, Ace Machinery, former track champion Joey Level. Then in the 15A, it is Derek Ayers in the WR Deacon and Sons Timber, Armstrong Construction Land Management, No More Worries, Shenandoah Washing Solution LLC. First lap for Larry Ramsey, a 16.912. First lap for Joey Level, 16.899. Derek Ayers, a 17.323. Checkered flag is out. Fast time currently, Joe Level with a 16.777. Seconds to 90 of Larry Ramsey with a 16.912. In the 15 of Derek Ayers, third overall with a 17.323. Next coming up in the Rocket, Heaveners Cars and Trucks, J. Edward, Groom, Long and Foster, Realty, PPM Race Products out of Buena Vista, Virginia. It's Dustin Cash. Then in the Masterbuilt, Billstein Shocks, Robert Robertson, Inc., Affordable Heating and Air, Mark Parks Racing, Roger Robertson Jr. out of Palmyra, Virginia. Then out of Lynchburg, Virginia, in the Easy D, Miller Auto Body, Cash's Excavating, Haywood Marine Construction, All About Wraps. It's Justin Williams, point leader here at Natural Bridge Speedway. First lap coming in here for Dustin Cash, 17.807, fifth overall. The 82 of Roger Robertson Jr., 16.926. New fast time, Justin Williams with a 16.578. Justin Williams, current fast time with a 16.578. Second, Joe Lovell with a 16.777. Third, the 90 of Larry Ramsey with a 16.912. Fourth is the 82 of Roger Robertson Jr. with a 16.926. Dustin Cash is sixth overall with a 17.479. Next out here in the 96 out of Standardsville, Virginia, in the J&D Race Car Parts, K&W Moeller Heating and Air, Tire Link LLC, Billstein Shocks, Assorber, Checker Flag Graphics. It's Matthew Hildebrand. Rocket XR1 up out of Fishersville, Virginia, in the Hazy Mountain Vineyards Brewery, Jimmy and Linda Faust, Spiders Auto Service, Superior ATV Unlimited, four-time track champion Derek Rankin. Then in the 71, Barry Wright Air Icon Royal Flush Plumbing, Digging Services, PD Radio Services, API Massage, Sweet Victory, Daddy Mac's Grub Shack. It's Buck Road Cap. First lap for Matthew Hildebrand, 17.098. Buck Road Cap, 7th overall with a 17.150. Derek Rankin, 5th overall with a 17.053. Buck Road Caps, 5th overall with a 17.029. 6th overall, the 72 of Derek Rankin at a 17.053. 7th overall, the 96 of Matthew Hildebrand at a 17.098. Fast time currently steals Lynchburg, Virginia's Justin Williams at a 16.578. Next, coming up out of Bedford, Virginia, in the Cecil B. Arthur Witt Mechanical, it's Jeff Witt. Then in the Kryptonite out of New Hope, Virginia, Karakoff's Auto Repair Machine Shop, S&S Shenandoah Auto Salvage, Lazy Acre Farms, H&H Printing. It's Franklin Karakoff. Then in the Longhorn out of Big Island, Virginia, in the Beverly's Wood Yards, Turbine Forest Products, Inc., Affordable Heating and Air, Robertson Paving, Mark Parks Racing, Bobby Ayers. First lap here for Jeff Witt, 17.294, 8th overall. Franklin Karakoff, 10th overall, to 17.475. Bobby Ayers, 8th overall, with a 17.293. Franklin Karakoff, 8th overall with a 17.286. Bobby Ayers, 9th overall with a 17.293. And Jeff Witt, 10th overall with a 17.294. Next, coming up here in the Longhorn, Booper Bear Racing, Stanton Union Stockyard, Smith's Farm and Equipment Repair, Ray Fiend Transport LLC, Bluegrass Farm, SNLX South Lex Cattle Company. It's Tyler Bayer. Then in the 66 in the Painter's Machine Shop, Heartland Veterinary Clinic, Intricity Air Solutions, HVA Services. It's Eric Groh. The 00 Tyler Bayer looks like he got up into the guardrail a little bit there. Yep, look at the right quarter panel there on the 00. That will hurt him a little bit. Tyler Bayer, 13th overall at 17.843. Eric Groh, 12th overall with a 17.453. That damage on the 00 there up there early hurt his first time. Let's see if he picks it up a little bit. 13th overall, 17.459. Tough break for the 00 Rockbridge Bass. Tyler Bayer, 13th overall to 17.459. And then Eric Groh is 8th overall on the board with a 17.276. Still current fast time, Justin Williams with a 16.578. Second, Joe Lovell with a 16.777. Third, currently is the 90 of Larry Ramsey with a 16.912. And fourth is the 82 of Roger Robertson Jr. with a 16.926. Stock 4, you are up next for qualifying. But we got two more competitors here for qualifying. In the 26 out of Lexington, Virginia, it's Jack Brown. Then in the 18 from Lyndhurst, Virginia, it's Sean Walker. Last two for the Billstein Shocks qualifying. K1 Race Gear Stock 4, you are up next. First lap for Jack Brown, 17.454. First lap for Sean Walker, 17.033. $17.099 for Jack Brown. Sean Walker's 17.012, fifth overall. So qualifying fourth, the 82 of Roger Robertson Jr. with a 16.926. Third, the 90 of Larry Ramsey with a 16.912. Second, the 8 of Joe Lovell with a 16.77. And your double nickel fast time here in the Billstein Shocks late model out of Lynchburg, Virginia, in car 2W with a 16.578. It's Justin Williams. Top 4 right here on the front stretch for a chip, peel, and draw right here. K1 Race Gear Stock 4, you need to be ready and staging for qualifying. Justin Williams will be a 2. Joey Level got a 4. Three for Larry Ramsey. And the 82 of Roger Robertson will be on the pole for your Billstein Shocks late model. Now coming up, the K1 Race Gear Stock 4 Hot Lap qualifying. Elite Racing Series 602, your heats follow stock 4. 602 Elite Racing Series heat races will follow stock 4 qualifying. Now up is stock 4 qualifying. There is points leader Wesley Givens out of Henrico, Virginia. The 97 of Gary Smith out of Buckhannon. The 28 Caleb Gibson out of Weirs Cave, Virginia. And the 78 of Scott Ulray from Salem, Virginia here. Two groups here for qualifying. Gary Smith a 20.633. Wesley Givens a 27.78. Scott Unray third overall with a 21.889. And then the 28 of Caleb Gibson, 22.097. So current fast time in the K1 race gear currently is Gary Smith with a 20.483. Elite Racing Series 602, Heat 1, you are up next. Make your way to staging, please. Elite Racing Series Heat 1, I need you to be making your way to the cone and staging, please. Here is our final group of K1 race gear stock 4 for qualifying. In car 21, it's Justin Groom out of Louisa, Virginia. And then car 41, it's Matthew Worwell out of Speedway, Virginia. Car 22, Chris Patrick out of Whitfield, Virginia. And then the two, our own pure stock driver of Donald Cassey out of Evington, Virginia. 2K. '41's first lap, 20.891. Chris Patrick's fifth overall, 21.928. Justin Groom, 22.00011. Donald Kesey, 22.612, eighth overall. So we'll have the top 4 here come on the front stretch. Fourth, Chris Patrick, fourth overall, 21.103. Third, the 8 of Wesley Givens, 20.722. Second, the 41 of Matthew Warwill with a 20.670. And your fast time out of Buckhannon, Virginia, in car number 97 with a 20.483.